the car you want at the price you want. Know Nissan is here for you at the Nissan Summer Sales Event.
All right, so this is day 4 since the Robotaxi launch, and I'm headed over to South Congress Hotel here in Austin, Texas. I'm going to be meeting Emmet Peppers. For those who don't know, he's been a frequent guest on my channel. He's flown into town this morning to take some Robotaxi rides with me, so we're going to have a fun time and hear his first experience and his reactions. He's had a chance to watch a lot of the videos, but this is going to be his first time in person, so it should be fun. All right, we're approaching our drop-off spot. Hey, I'm filming.
What's up, Dave? How are you, man?
Smile, man.
Good to see you.
Excited about Robotaxi?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm ready to test it out with you and see what happens. I didn't get the app approved in my phone, but luckily I have you to help show me the way.
I'll take you around. We'll go over it. All right, so I just showed Emmet the app, and we called the Robotaxi. It's coming in about 10 minutes or so. So curious, Emmet, what are you looking forward to? Like, what do you want to test, or
I'm just looking forward to getting in the car and driving it and letting it drive us and just experiencing it, because it seems so amazing on the videos I'm watching. You know, it reminds me of watching the first full self-driving early access users, and I was just chomping at the bit to get it myself. And it was just fun watching it. And now I'm like watching all these videos of other people riding these Robotaxis. I'm like, oh, it's so cool, and I want to try it. So I'm down here in Austin. You're gracious enough to let me tag along with you on your app. I couldn't get the app approved on my account yet, but I'm happy to be riding around with you for the next day or two and test it out.
Yeah, I mean, right before I hit the record button, Emmet was asking about expansion, how fast could Tesla expand. And I was like telling Emmet, I think you should try it out first, you know, like a day or two, and then you have better insight on the expansion, because it's all about, I think, risks and benefits. Like Tesla's accidents, like there's going to be accidents. I think I was reading Waymo has had like over 500 accidents. I think it's almost 700. And they just don't get a lot of publicity, but every accident from a Tesla Robotaxi is going to be plastered everywhere. And so Tesla has to think about, like, you know, as they expand, there's going to be accidents. You know, I think Waymo's had over 100 accidents already this year.
Yeah.
Even though most of it isn't even their fault.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm going to try to be skeptical, because I'm going in with a bias of excitement, but I'm going to try to be as skeptical as I can and be like, try to, you know, poo-poo my expectations and see what happens.
Yeah. All right, sounds good.
All right. Oh, we got to find it though, like the Pokemon. You got to find it until they figure out how to pick you up right where you are. But I'm excited.
Robotaxi right here.
It's right there. It's not that far. It's only like 50 feet. You know, people make a big deal about it, but in this case, it's not a big deal at all. This is where an Uber or taxi, you know, someone might pick you up if your friend's picking you up too.
All right, here's Emmet's first Robotaxi ride.
Okay, just go in here. There we go. Hello.
Hi, how are we doing?
Okay.
Oh,
we gotta press this button.
Yeah, press the button.
Barley bean coffee. Okay, here we go.
Let's do it.
Boom.
Okay.
Arrive in 11 minutes.
We're off.
Oh, these people. Let's seize the people. Cool. There we go. Okay. It feels backwards, because it feels like there should be someone driving, but we're not in the UK or something. It's just the steering wheel's moving by itself.
Yeah.
Pretty soon they'll have these without a steering wheel. That'll be really nuts. Cybercab.
Exactly. Yeah, I was thinking, you know, seems like they're testing production of like the Cybercab castings, but then in order to make it without a steering wheel, it's like they might need NHTSA approval or something.
We should call this series "Driving with Dave."
Actually, I've been doing in my videos. I just kind of like talk to myself.
Well, you gotta have someone like me in there. We can make it a little fun.
I answer like my own questions and.
Yeah. I've watched a couple. I like it. I like how you like navigate yourself through the thing down here. Like you're like, okay, this does that.
Exactly.
You're basically thinking out loud, which is good.
Yeah. But with Cybercab, I was thinking they have a couple choices. One is they get NHTSA approval, and
Okay.
I think there's actually a approval. It's like a small production number approval for like kind of these more innovative vehicles. So I think they could produce a couple thousand under that exception.
Okay. Once they show the data, I mean, we can probably do back of the napkin math with how many cars they have, how many miles they're getting a day right now, and how long that takes to get, X thousand miles of data or X tens of thousands of miles of data. Because once they have enough data, I think that should just be like the mathematical proof, like, hey, it's safer. Make as many as we can. The more we make, the more lives we're saving. That's what it's all about. End of the day, right? It's like that's what argument should win over anything else. Is how many lives you're saving.
Yeah. All right, Emmet. So, what's your first initial impressions for just the first 2-3 minutes?
I forgot we're in a Robotaxi. To be honest, I totally forgot. I guess that's good. I'm trying to be skeptical. I'm trying to look for something that's going to freak me out. But so far, it's kind of boring. We're just like, it's kind of exciting to know I'm finally in one, and I guess boring is good in this case. I mean, it's not like a roller coaster ride. It shouldn't be. I guess I was like getting ready for something exciting to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see what happens here with this Jeep. I mean, I can't see how. That was easy. That was easy sauce.
Yeah.
Level 1 obstacle. I always make gamify things with my kids. I'm like, that's a level 1 or level 3. And they're like, what does it go to? I'll make it a 5 is the hardest. And they're like, throw me a level 5. And I have to make sure they can't catch the ball or whatever. Sorry, let's make these obstacles. Name them level 1 through 5. That was level 1. Okay. All right. Okay, left lane. When you look on that little map, by the way, that you showed me earlier, it looks like a tiny area, but in reality, it's actually like pretty big. Like this is a big area we're driving through, like several miles.
Yeah, I thought it would be a smaller area, and Tesla would have to like map out, or not map out, but test every intersection, beforehand. But I don't think they did that. I think
that was like their factory testing, just going across the road in the factory. So it's very impressive that they opened up with this bigger area right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems small when you look at that picture, but it's actually pretty big.
Yeah.
What do you think? That's like half the size of Manhattan? I have no idea. I'm trying to fit it into Manhattan. We'll have to measure it, but it's a pretty decent size. Now that we've been driving in it for a few miles.
Okay, we're coming up to our destination.
Okay. I mean, it feels like someone's driving us around, even though it's just the robot. It's kind of surreal when you think doesn't need to be a monitor in here, and this thing's just driving us from point A to point B.
There it is, the coffee shop.
All right.
Barley Bean.
All right. As if I don't have enough energy already, we're going to get some coffee here. Cool. Let's see how it parked. This is the weird part. That's it, right? That's good.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Let's see this thing pull away. I want to see where it's going to go next. Or something like a diary.
Yeah, there it goes.
Decaf half caffeinated or not really?
After your first ride, what are your thoughts so far?
It doesn't feel like I took my first ride. I mean, I'm trying to think back, and there was no one driving it. It's so strange because it felt like someone was driving it, especially with the monitor in the front. It feels like someone's driving it, like subconsciously when you don't think about it. It feels like you're just like in another part of the world where they drive on the right side, But then you think about it, and actually they're not driving it; they're just sitting there, and it's just kind of bizarre that like you don't even realize it. Like so quickly you forget like that there's no one driving it. It just felt like kind of boring and uneventful. We were hoping to get some kind of crazy near accident or near miss. They'd be look, Robotaxi almost hit that, but it swerved out. That's what I was hoping for, some kind of superhuman safety maneuver, but there was nothing too strange. There was like a couple of you know, low-level obstacles that easily navigated like a human would, but nothing serious. And it was kind of a long ride, right? I mean, it was like 10, 15-minute ride with lots of turns, and I mean, it's kind of like hard to remember that you're in a Robotaxi, right? Is that how you felt the first few times? I mean, right now it's probably so boring to you, right?
No, the first day I was just excited. It was just a blur, you know? It was like Robotaxi, Robotaxi.
Yeah, that's how I feel going into it. And then when we got out, I like chased it and watched it leave, like, bye-bye, Robotaxi, as it left us, you know, down the street, just to see it drive off autonomously.
Yeah.
But, you know, I guess it's just, you get used to it quickly, and it's just the norm, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
All right.
Guys, we have our second Robotaxi.
Wow. Dave on it too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Beach buggy. Oh, they're like Vampire Survivors. They like that game.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll be psyched to be able to play these games in here. Especially, you know what they just need though, is they need the wireless controllers right here that just work. You know, you just pick it up and start playing. That'll make it way better once they have that, especially for kids. They're gonna love this. Kids are gonna love it when you can do that. It's like, oh, let's go to the robot arcade, Mom. Have it pick us up so we can play games. Climate here. Oh, can you mess with the climate more from here? Oh, you can a little bit, right? Look.
Huh.
Meters. Oh, you can do it from here. Look. There you go.
Yeah, it's only 2 settings.
Oh, but still, it's quieter, right?
Yeah,
quieter. A little bit, and you gotta put it up.
Yeah.
What's this thing? Oh. Okay. What else is in here? You got all the apps. I don't know who uses Twitch. Do people use Twitch in here? I don't know. I don't think I've ever used it. Arcade, Audible, listen to books.
All right, we're approaching our drop-off.
Yeah, been another uneventful drive. Trying to. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, once you ride this, it just seems so normal. That's what I think.
Yeah.
It just feels. Feels like a professional driver just driving us around.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for redundancy purposes. Too many Starlinks for extra connection.
Next.
Whoa, very similar. Very similar.
Yep.
Okay, got a little ding.
Heading to Joe's
Similar.
home. Please make sure your seatbelt is fastened.
Oh, that's
For
jerky.
any
Uh-oh.
questions, press the call support button to speak with a rider support agent.
Already, within 5 seconds, it doesn't feel quite as secure as the Robotaxi. Maybe it's because there's no one in the front at all, so I'm a little nervous. Okay, let's see. Are we going to be stuck in this parking lot, driving in circles?
Infinite loop.
Waymo. I swear this is my first Waymo ever. I didn't go on a bunch of Waymos to get to the weird. Okay, we should pull out right here.
Okay.
Okay, this time take 2.
You could do it.
Take 2.
Okay.
All right. Ooh, kind of a wide turn. I mean, it's a little hesitant. It's like herky-jerky a little bit, but it's not too bad. As long as it gets us from point A to point B, I guess, right? But I definitely feel more nervous without the person in front, even though I know the person in front didn't do anything in the Robotaxi. It just kind of subconsciously thought they were doing something. Pull out here.
Are you more nervous or less nervous?
I'm definitely more nervous in the Waymo, just because like there's not a person in there that can save us if something bad happens, and I'm like, and already it's already been like a couple hesitations. I feel like it's a nervous driver that doesn't really know where they're going. But I mean, it's a computer driving us, so I'm sure it's proven. It's not as smooth.
Every time I go back and forth between the Waymo and Tesla, it's just like the interface. Like check this out, the whole like steering wheel.
Oh yeah.
Controls is
all the buttons and knobs.
So old school, you know.
Yeah.
And they just like tacked on like their system onto this, you know, cars. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, very strange.
But impressive that Waymo has done what they've done so far.
No, very impressive. Yeah. They must be losing a ton of money. They just have a bigger bank than Cruise. That's why they have gone out of business like Cruise, I bet, right?
I mean, their technology is probably better than, Cruise ever was, too.
Yeah. But they were kind of neck and neck for a while, right? Until I think Cruise started, like, not getting as much funding, maybe, and...
That's true. They had to sell themselves, and then it just went downhill after that. Yeah.
But Google's gonna... A little more herky-jerkiness with this one, right? Would you say, Dave?
Yeah,
a little more
there's
herky-jerky.
more sudden stops than Tesla's Robotaxi, I'd say, at least for this ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're almost here at our drop-off.
Okay.
This is going to be up here.
Okay. We're here.
You're here. Please make sure it's clear before exiting.
A little herky-jerky, but, got us there in one piece, no problem. Still felt confident other than some of the hesitations, minor hesitations. Not quite as smooth as the Robotaxi. But I would drive a Waymo again for sure.
Not bad.
Mini Starlinks or something that help connectivity.
Really? Huh.
As a redundancy, 2 of them maybe? I don't know, that's a speculation.
That's like too small for Starlink.
It does feel too small.
They wouldn't make us...
Maybe they make a separate type of one?
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is a little different, though.
It is different. We're going to start our ride. Boom. 8-minute drive should be nice and cool. I love that about the Tesla. So.
Yeah, I know. There's something refreshing about a Tesla compared to a Waymo.
Yeah.
It's just cleaner, smooth, like, I don't know, it feels more airy or modern.
Maybe it's this window on the ceiling too. It feels more spacious. You just know you're in a safer car which feels more modern, and you just know it's safer.
I think Cybercab is going to be cool because it's like you don't have this extra row, you just have 2 seats, wide, like a lot of space, no steering wheel. That's going to be cool.
Yeah. Oh, I like that brand, Howler Brothers. They got good Howler Brothers.
Okay, cool.
Good outdoor clothing. There we go. Some residential street. It's alarmingly boring.
You're probably like much more used to it by now, huh? It's like,
yeah. This is our 4th ride today. Is it our 4th Robotaxi ride? Yeah.
I lose track after like the 3rd or 4th of the day,
Yeah, but it's much more normal than the Waymo we just took. The Waymo was kind of herky-jerky in spots and a little hesitant. And this definitely lets you forget about it really fast.
Yeah.
But also probably because subconsciously I see someone sitting in the front passenger seat, and subconsciously it makes me think that like they're in control or something, even though they're not. So maybe that's why I feel like it's smoother, because I feel like someone's driving it even though they're not. Can't tell until the monitor comes out. We'll do a better comparison then probably.
Yeah.
Coffee here too.
Yeah.
Another shot of espresso.
Yeah.
Man, all the coffee places must be making a fortune from all the Robotaxi drop-offs. That's what people pick. Is like, oh, which coffee shop should we go to? Then you feel like you got to get something. Everyone's all hyped up on caffeine.
There's only like 5-10 people probably today. Actually, maybe they're going back and forth to coffee
There's
shops.
more. Remember we couldn't get one. There's probably a lot of people.
That's true.
But I'm surprised we haven't run into really anyone.
Yeah. We haven't even seen a Robotaxi today, huh?
No.
All right, we're approaching our drop-off spot up here somewhere. This is like perfect if you think about it. It's like slightly to the side, right? I have enough space.
People can
It's
pass
like,
us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You too. Plug in my seatbelt. There we go.
Okay.
There we go. Start ride. Let's see what happens in the rain here.
Yeah, it just started to rain here.
Look,
in
someone's
Austin,
videotaping on a
Texas.
Robotaxi. All right. That was a good movie we saw there, Dave, huh?
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next.
Yeah.
I want to see some serious, like, thunderstorm activity and see what happens. Need some adventure.
Yeah, I'm curious.
These rides have been way too boring.
If it just has a crazy downpour, I wonder what Robotaxi
Yeah,
will do.
I want some real excitement here. Make it rain. It's only a 6-minute ride here. Okay, well, we can get another one after.
Yeah.
So handling the weather, the rain, pretty good.
Yeah, the rain has picked up some.
Still feels like someone's driving us, even though it's just the robot.
Just turned yellow and just
made it.
Nice.
Oh, is that another Robotaxi? It looks like. No, there's a driver in there.
Yeah.
Now every new Model Y I see here, I'm thinking it's a Robotaxi.
All right, so this will be our last ride of the day with Emmet. We got some rain here, so some of the excitement Emmet's been waiting for. Passing a Waymo there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very pleased, but I'm also disappointed that there's no excitement. But I'm very pleased from an investor perspective, like how smooth this is going. I mean, it definitely emboldens me so far to feel that being a long-term investor in Tesla is the right move. Now, it all depends on how fast things scale from here. Like, is this going to be a 1 week, 2 week, period of time until the monitors come out and they expand the area, or is it going to be a 6-month period of time? Probably somewhere between those time periods. But every step change of expansion is how you can determine, I think, where the stock, when the stock will rise.
Yeah, I was thinking though, like from a little bit longer point of view, like 5 years from now, it's not going to matter whether or not Tesla expanded like June of some year versus December. Like 6 months is like nothing.
Oh yeah, 5 years from now,
it's like
won't make a difference. But if you want to buy some like long-term options, you got to be careful with this timing, because if you buy like 1 year out long-term options, you could lose it all if they're not expanding very fast.
True.
Or even 2 year out if they're expanding kind of slow. Or maybe they get set back from some regulator thing, from some democratic legislation or something. You just never know. So 5 years though, I agree. It's like golden.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of when they were first selling the Model S at a profit, and the stock, even before it was a profit, but we knew it could turn a profit, and the stock wasn't really, or back in 2012 when the stock wasn't recognizing the Motive Trend Car of the Year award, accomplishment and all this stuff. And then you just knew as an investor, like, what am I missing here? This is like, but that was a faster time period, obviously, because then when they produced at a profit, and that next first quarter earnings or spring or whatever, the stock really popped, and that was a highly shorted stock back then. So, and then in the Model 3 ramp, same kind of thing. You just knew they were going to produce it profitably, and it's a great car. It's going to have infinite demand at the time compared to what they could produce. And eventually it happened. And you kind of just know the same thing. Eventually, this Robotaxi is going to beat Waymo and everyone else in just a matter of time, and then the stock's going to appreciate.
Yep. All right, so it's day 2. We had a good night last night after taking some Robotaxi rides. I invited Emmet over and also James Downlow for dinner. Had a cool time playing table tennis and Street Fighter, a bunch of stuff. But anyways, it's a morning time, and Emmet wants to take some more rides before he heads back to the San Francisco Bay Area. So we're gonna go and take more rides. We're gonna see also what his reaction is after sleeping on it.
Ready for day 2? All right, let's do it.
So quick words on how was Robotaxi yesterday?
It was surprisingly super boring. But that was exciting to me that it was boring, if that makes sense, you know? It's kind of a weird oxymoron, you know, excitingly boring. That's how I describe it. So I'm hoping today we maybe have some drama somewhere. I've seen a couple clips online of like a car pulling out and the Robotaxi having to like maneuver around it or something. We haven't had much of that. And we've had a couple instances with like minor obstacles, but nothing too crazy, you know? So we're looking for some kind of weird outlier that we can capture. You know, it's like, you know, whoever captures that first is gonna be the star of, you know, season 2 of Tesla Full Self-Driving. So we want to capture that. Let's do it.
Emmet is wanting to be the star.
Yes, let's do it. All right, let's go for a ride. First ride today. Let's get in here. Welcome, Dave. That's familiar already. Merit Coffee, 10:24 arrival. Okay, it's a 8-minute ride. Let's see, just a few turns.
Yep. Quick ride. Get some coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
Did you have breakfast, Emmet?
I just had
Okay.
a coffee, but I'll have coffee number 2. Lately, I've been having 2 or 3 a day. Lately.
Yeah.
Don't want to stop it on this Robotaxi test trip. We need to be fully aware.
Yeah.
Every detail. We were talking to James Dalma last night a little bit, right? And he was going over his analysis and how he watches the Robotaxi. And I was like, whoa, he's like really deep into the weeds on his analysis and observations of things, like deciding, like trying to figure out where the Robotaxi chooses not to go and visiting that himself later to see why it chose not to go there and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, he's really thorough.
Yeah.
But we always knew that about him, right?
Yeah.
We're thorough too. But,
Yeah, compared to your objective is
my very
excitement
subjective
and fame.
Yeah. Oh, is that another robot? No, it's just a regular Tesla.
Yeah.
Oh, they're like friends. The Robotaxi and the regular Tesla. Okay. This is so like. That's how I described it to my kids last night. I said they asked me about it. I said it's excitingly boring. As an investor, it's exciting, but the experience is boring. We're just waiting for that gotcha moment. We can look. We found the first error of the Robotaxi. We don't want to actually find that, but we sort of do. You know, if you.
Yeah, did you see the clip about the UPS truck backing up?
Yeah, it's so silly that everyone's making a big deal. That's like, even if the guy didn't press the button, or not, I don't even know if he really did or not. But
he did.
But even if he didn't press it, it's not like it would have been a...
So you know that was my video, right?
Yeah, that was your video. And
So it was the first intervention.
Yeah, but it was like such a minor thing, because it would have just been like annoying to the UPS driver, and they would have been, and I'm sure it would have been interesting to get out of there.
It's like, the thing is, the Robotaxi would have stopped because it could stop instantly, because it was just going at a couple miles per hour.
Oh, I pressed the open door button by accident. Oh, I gotta...
Tesla Robotaxi support. I see that you have initiated a pullover.
Oh, resume ride. I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Yeah. By accident, I touched the button with my hand. I was nervous talking. Can I close the door again, or? You have to open and close it. Okay, let me open and close it. There we go. Resume ride. Sorry, nothing's wrong.
No problem.
I'm glad someone's available if we need it, though. I pressed this button here. See this button here? I pressed it with my hand by accident when I was getting excited talking to you, and then I heard a click, and I was like, oh shoot.
Are you sure it was on by accident?
Yeah. I was like, let's get out of this Robotaxi. I'm scared. After we were talking about the UPS clip, I was like, no, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah. No, the UPS clip was interesting because it got a lot of views, but like for me in the car,
how
the
did it feel?
Robotaxi is just going a couple miles per hour. It could have stopped. It would have stopped, right? If as the UPS truck goes back, and as long as the UPS truck is looking back, it would stop too.
Yeah.
But that UPS truck was a little bit. The driver was like, was very in a rush. Like the whole thing, he barely stopped. It was just like he's kind of a crazy driver.
Oh.
And then the parking spot was like, could barely fit a small car. There's no, it could fit like half his truck. So he's backing into a parking spot that's like half his. Yeah, so he halfway backs in. He's just backing in his back, and his whole front is like in the street, right?
Oh.
And so as long as he's looking back, he would have stopped too. Would have been fine.
Yeah.
The only case is like if he was negligent and wasn't looking back and didn't stop when, let's say, Robotaxi was a little bit in there as well.
Yeah.
Then it could have been, it could have hit it, but.
But don't you think the Robotaxi would take an evasive maneuver and just like suddenly back up like?
I wish it would, but I think backing up,
It's harder, right?
It does it a lot better now than 6 months ago, but it doesn't do it like instantly right now yet. I think eventually it's just gonna be crazy, you know?
Yeah, I think it'll do
instant backups
yeah.
and just like crazy stuff. But right now,
I think it's more careful with the backing up.
Yeah,
only like when parking somewhere or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see it. But yeah, that's good to have that context, because when you see the clip, people are like, "Oh, look, someone had to press the button to have it stop bothering the UPS truck."
Yeah, and in the car, it just felt safe. It felt just like,
Yeah.
it didn't feel like anything actually.
Yeah, it's so funny. And then you see the clips of like the Waymos like stopping traffic all over the place. Like those are also like anecdotal clips of like hundreds of trips. Someone will find it, but it's funny that those clips of the outlandish Waymos blocking traffic and like stuck in the middle of the street, like those don't go viral nearly as much as like someone pressing a button for a UPS truck backing up. It's so funny. I tried to put it on like Gary Black's reply to him with that, just to show him like how biased his analysis is.
It's like Waymo. It's like you could show clips of Waymo, anything, and people are like whatever.
Yeah.
But show a clip of Tesla just like braking a little bit. Like it's like
there's a class of people that are like really rooting for their thesis to be correct in that Tesla will fail. There's like a certain amount of people that really want to be right, and so they're really looking hard for anything that can signal that and over exaggerating it.
Yeah, I mean that makes it a challenging rollout for Tesla, because they have to think about the publicity of everything being scrutinized, and like think about Waymo. Was every single ride of Waymo like posted online, on YouTube? No one cared really much, but it's like people care more about.
Now, do you think I'm one thing I'm thankful for is like politics, whatever politics, just from a standpoint of Tesla, even though Elon and Trump had their fight or whatever, they seem to be okay now, neutral now, or at least, but the Biden administration just really looked into Elon. They did not want Tesla to succeed. Like, I think it would have been much more risky to roll this out if we had Kamala Harris won the election. I think there'd be a lot more regulatory risk from a federal standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, I have mixed thoughts on that. Like, I understand the reasoning behind that, but on the other hand, it's like it's about the number of accidents, the type of accidents.
It should be
over miles.
I think ideally it should be. Any rational person realizes that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and it could have delayed it a bit.
Yeah,
maybe 6 to 12 months, maybe 18 months at max. But I just think that the data becomes pretty obvious, after a short time.
Yeah,
of rides.
I hope that becomes the ground truth, is the data. Yeah, I mean that people respect that ground truth.
Oh, there's Terry Black's.
Oh, yeah.
Have you eaten there before?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, okay.
Last time I was here, I remember with my wife last summer for a couple of nights. It was like so hot. We had Terry Black's one night, but it was blistering, and we tried to get one of those Lime scooters, and we had to like get the app, but we were like dying of heat, just like out there trying to get the app downloaded.
Right.
Like, let's get out of here. We can't get it. I couldn't get it to work for 2 scooters. It was just a little bit of a nightmare with user error probably at my end. But the Tesla Robotaxi, even on like terrible technology these days, I mean, that's such a simple app. I don't think that anyone can make user error on the Robotaxi app.
Yeah. Do you remember back in the day when people thought scooters was going to be like the big thing?
The valuations were like crazy.
Yeah, after Uber's. Like,
I remember that. I remember that. People were trying to get me to invest in scooter businesses. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, there's only so much money those things can make. And there's like jobs of going around town to pick them up in a truck being offered to lots of people. So you can charge at night. But now, like, you don't really see a lot of people on scooters as much as they used to, I feel like. I mean, you still see it here and there, but not like for a while. It was like really, and it's actually fun. I've done it in like LA, and I did it here in Austin a couple times. It's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a tough business because I think it's like you're going from point A to B, but your point where you go to your destination, you drop off your scooter, and what are the chances that another person is going to want the scooter at that location? So it's like, I don't know.
It's like littering the streets with a bunch of scooters so that people can. Well, there's a Waymo. Yeah. With all the crazy Frankenstein equipment on it. Yeah. I mean, I think it's great. I'm grateful for Waymo being the pioneer, of self-driving and applying it first to the real world, like, but what they say, the pioneers go first and they get shot in the shot in the back with arrows, and then the settlers come. And so Tesla Robotaxi is like the settler of this business and gonna take it over.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Elon saying like, anyone who relies on LiDAR will be doomed.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because Waymo in some ways like has survived.
But they're losing money, I think.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So the question is, will they still be doomed? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Even with the kind of head start they have.
Yeah.
And I think there's a good chance they will be doomed. Like if people have a choice between a cheaper, Tesla Robotaxi versus a Waymo.
Yeah.
It's like,
do you think Waymo could like apply their more sophisticated to like buses or federal transportation contract or city municipal transportation contracts, or do you think it's?
Yeah, but Tesla is gonna come up with their own.
That's true.
Robobus, taxi,
That's true.
Van, bus. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also saw like in my analysis, like with Grok and people online, like LiDAR is like expensive to maintain too. I didn't realize that, but each LiDAR sensor, it can be expensive on an annual basis just to keep it running smoothly. Apparently, it's like thousands of dollars.
All right, guys, this is our destination here, Merit Coffee.
Oh wow, it came in the parking. Waymos probably wouldn't come in this parking lot.
Exactly, they wouldn't.
I love
guys. This is the tricky Merit Coffee parking lot.
We're gonna probably disrupt it being standing here. Let's see this car.
Emmet is interested in what's going on.
I don't want to get too close and disrupt it.
I feel like paparazzi, man.
Oh, look at this. This looks hard. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What the heck? Oh my gosh.
It's a narrow exit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's super narrow there. I mean, like the other option is to back up, which I see.
I mean, it's got like this much space, Yeah. It's good. It's doing it. I don't know. I can't imagine a Waymo ever. Whoa. It's got like this much space and it did it just fine, safely. That's impressive.
Yeah.
There's no way a LiDAR car would do that. I don't think it would be that confident.
I think Waymo wouldn't even have.
It would get stuck there indefinitely, and they'd have to like call support. Otherwise, people would be stuck in here.
Actually, that car did it.
Well, that car doesn't have. That's not a Waymo. It's human. Humans can do it. But that was close enough. How safe and conservative the Waymos are with the LiDAR and everything.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
It had this much room. The Waymo would not have realized it. Not have done it.
I agree. All right, Emmy, you got some excitement this morning?
Yeah, that was the most exciting part of our trip so far, is watching that car pull out of the narrow parking lot.
We just called a Robotaxi here. And
oh, here it is pulling in right here. Look. Let's see. It's coming in. Let's see. Oh, it's coming into the parking lot.
Thrill seeker, Emmet Peppers.
Oh, smart. Look, it saw the girl go through the thing and stop for her.
Yeah,
I saw you. Yeah, it's impressive. It stops. It'll stop. It stopped for you. Yeah. Wow, that was a good example.
Yeah, good example.
Thank you for doing that by accident. Yeah. You got to get invited on the early beta testing program.
I know I got invited, but from our buddy who works there. But like,
oh wow.
Is it their own app?
Yeah, they have you download an app.
It's so cool. I mean, it's excitingly boring.
My 7-year-old this week goes, boy 7 goes, Waymo is old news.
So that was a person who said that she actually got invited by a friend who works at Tesla, and she said her 7-year-old says Waymo is old news.
I believe it. That 7-year-old's smart.
Yeah, Alan.
Here we go. I'm getting myself a Texas belt.
Nice.
That's what we want to do today. Have the robot take us there.
It's interesting. Like sometimes, oh look, it's backing out.
Oh
guys.
wow.
It's like
interesting.
It feels like this is going to be a better option than going around, because it doesn't have visibility on.
Oh, maybe
this is really tight.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's going to try because it's so tight.
Wow.
There's so many cars on both sides.
We saw it from the outside come out this way, and look on the inside. It's like we saw there was like a couple feet of room, and it did it fine.
This is so tight.
But in the inside, it's like feels tight. Let's see what it does.
Yeah.
I mean, the cameras know. how close it is for sure. And look, it's like a good.
Wow.
It's got a good foot or two of clear.
No,
A foot.
that's like less than 6 inches.
No, I think it was a foot.
No, like toward the very close.
From the outside looking, remember we saw the one leaving and it looked like it was a foot.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it's
don't
just
know.
tight,
It's tight.
but it did it. I mean, as a human driver, it's like 50-50 whether you do that, I feel like, right? I mean, you'd like,
Yeah,
Think about
that
it.
parking lot is a rough one.
that's a good test for people.
Yeah.
Called it, what was it, Merrick's?
Merit Coffee.
Merit Coffee, yeah. People should
actually,
try
I've
that.
done quite a few rides there.
Oh, okay.
It's like my 4th time or something. Fourth time? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good parking lot test because that lady coming out and it stopped for her. She like jumped over the fence
Yeah.
and it saw her and stopped.
So there you have it, guys. From the mouth of a 7-year-old. Waymo is old news.
Yeah. Waymo. Such a good name to like wordplay with, like Waymo money or
Yeah.
Waymo sensors. Way no. No way. So many things with that. Robotaxi, that's just too many syllables to be a verb. Like people are like, oh, let's make it a new verb. It's just too many. You got
Yeah.
Robotaxi. 4 syllables? That's not. Uber, it has to be 2 syllables. Waymo, 2 syllables. What can be? What do you think it's going to be for Tesla?
Yeah, I
Robo?
don't know.
Just Robo? Do you want a Robo here? Maybe that's what it'll be.
I mean, it might just be. Let's take a Robotaxi. It might just be one of those things that you just.
No.
Just
I'm
say,
an
like-
expert in brain rot language. That's what they call it in Alpha Gen. My kids, I know like the Riz and squad and all the vibe check-in, vibes, and it's going to be something short in terms of syllables. So I think like some fancy like TikTok, YouTube people are going
I
to
can
start
make something up.
call it like, let's go Robo there or something, they'll do something like that. And it'll be the new
Yeah.
Alpha Gen language.
Possibly, yeah.
Skibbity, that's another brain rot word that my kids laugh at when I try to use it. But I think Robo, I think that's going to be it. Yeah. Unless they come up with some new word entirely for it, the Alpha Gen language. Because there's a whole generation that's going to grow up with these Robotaxis now.
Yeah, my kids, like when Robotaxi, before it came out, like I think when maybe it was maybe a few days before it launched, we were looking at it just like online or some videos of Tesla promoting it, and then my kids are like, "Oh, if this works, Uber is dead." And it's so like just simple and clear,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
But
so
then, like,
clear.
But then, like for like as you get older, some people, like the brain gets more like plays mental tricks, and it's more complicated to just think simply and clearly or something.
It's hard to make adjustments in the
Yeah.
worldviews it has in place already or
Yeah.
something. That's why there's so many opportunities for investing when people can like think a little more abstractly about how the world's changing instead of like.
Yeah, I think that like the Uber question is interesting because it's like sometimes these companies can actually stay profitable for longer than some people think.
Yeah.
Because it's like sometimes adoption for a new technology takes a while. They milk their existing business model.
Yeah.
They just like push different levers to get more
Yeah.
margin and more profit. Investors like it.
Yeah.
Push some dividends and buybacks
Yep.
and
Yep.
do some stuff where it's like their stock price doesn't crater right away.
Takes a long time.
Yeah, it's like you still it's not as obvious in terms of what happens with the stock price.
Yeah.
But I mean, long term for Uber, it's more precarious. It's more clearly precarious unless they do some really amazing strategic moves
Yeah.
to like somehow figure out how to be a marketplace for I don't know what, for Waymo. Maybe there's another player. Like who else did like what are these like other companies that are supposedly so close to getting autonomous
Yeah.
driving? I just don't see them. Like who's even
Yeah. A friend
testing
sent me
them at
like
scale?
sent me like a headline of like Zoox, Amazon's thing, trying to build
Yeah.
10,000 Robotaxis by 2029 or something. Like a headline, which doesn't even come true, and it's for 2029. And so
Yeah.
Tesla's already building like 10,000 of these a week right now. They just have to turn on the software for them all at once wherever they want. It's so obvious.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, you got to think like, what are we missing here? But
yeah. So here we are. Here's Alan Boots in this direction. You've got a Waymo coming out of their parking.
oh, already here?
Street.
Yeah, it's going down that way. Oh, Waymo's coming. Yeah, right there.
How many Waymos do you think you've seen this
Oh, I've seen like
couple days?
10 or 20 Waymos maybe we've seen.
Yeah.
We've ridden a couple.
Oh, actually, that's not Alan Boots.
No, that's
a
another
different-
Boots
that's
place.
Another Boots place. Okay, we're almost coming up to our destination up here.
A little roundabout. Oh, look at this car part. Oh, hesitated, communicating with these guys. Look at this.
Oh, yeah. There's.
What are we? Oh, a little hesitation back and forth. Oh, very smooth. See, the Waymo would not be smooth there. It would be like, it would be jerking a lot.
Yeah.
It'd be like passing someone in the hallway, and both people are like, "Oh, which way do we go?" for a while.
Like this one was perfectly human.
That was
You know what I'm saying? Like,
perfect.
Tesla Robotaxi, it's like so often it's like perfectly human. with
It
these,
was
like,
perfect.
Difficult things.
It's exciting the first time when you are actually conscious of it happening, but then
Yeah.
you just get boring because you've seen it before. But that was
Yeah.
exciting because it was the first time I saw some kind of like awkward, like who's going to go first moment.
Yeah.
And the Tesla just felt like more natural than me.
Oh man, I spilled some coffee
Oops.
on me. Pain.
Let's see here.
I mean, that's what's gonna happen if you spill coffee in the Robotaxi. You know?
Oh, yeah.
There's no one here.
What if someone like pukes in it? Yeah. I think it's probably all in the disclaimers or when you sign up, like you got to pay for it if you damage it or something, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, what are they going to do?
Yeah. The next person will find out, or I don't know.
Maybe the internal camera, they turn it on and off before because they say privacy, but they must turn it on after you get out to make sure it's okay.
That's true.
Really cool watching it hesitate with that the other car when it was pulling out.
Yeah.
That's what I would come here to see those moments, and
Yep.
I think she's just waiting for the next person to call
Yeah,
it, right?
it takes like a minute. I think they must be uploading some.
I think what it is,
data,
it
or
could
I
be
don't know
like
what.
maybe there's not enough people on the network trying to call it Robotaxi, so it waits. Do you think until there's
Possibly.
another call coming in?
Yeah.
Like there's no reason for it to drive around aimlessly if there's no one calling a Robotaxi at that
Yeah.
moment, right? So maybe it has to wait a minute or two until someone calls one. Wow. I just felt like that was a person backing out and driving.
Yeah. All right, just called another Robotaxi. Just finished shopping
It's coming.
a bit here.
Oh, it's pulling in.
at
It's pulling in the
Alan
parking
Boots.
lot this
Oh,
time.
Okay. It
Or is it
parked
just
over
pulling
there.
behind that car? I can't tell. Blinking, that means it's like wait, just gonna stay there and wait for you to get in, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
So we noticed this stuff, and I don't think that's Starlink. I think it's probably extra cell reception.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. That's my guess. But
Could be like the new mini Starlink. I don't know. Some people speculate that, but maybe cell.
yeah, maybe.
I mean,
cell.
Elon would do his own. Don't you think Starlink? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, Starlink. You don't want to be stuck under
A bridge or
tunnel,
something.
a bridge or trees. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
That's true.
Maybe multiple cell connections.
Yeah,
you
maybe
know?
an extra 5G and
Yeah, different
So-
networks or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. Alrighty, we're off to our next destination, start ride, and then we can turn up the music or turn down the music.
Okay. Cool. The Peter Pan mini golf. Sounds like a good place to go.
You're getting a decent Austin experience. Going to
Yeah.
some Texas shopping.
Yeah. I like the
And,
shopping here for Texas.
Last night you said you went to you heard some live music.
Yeah, I did. I went to the Continental Club for a minute just to listen to some music and get a cold drink to cool off before I retired for the evening.
Yeah. What are you in the mood for lunch?
I mean, I like a good brunch, you know, eggs and
Oh,
bacon kind of option, but I'll go
Got it.
wherever. Terry's, y'all can go there if you want. I like a good barbecue too.
Yeah.
But what are you thinking?
Whatever
Yeah.
you're in the mood. Eggs and bacon. That sounds pretty good.
Okay.
We'll
Yeah.
try to find something or something. If not, do some barbecue or something.
Yeah. Either one. Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting the last trip where the car kind of pulled down. I wonder if we'll experience something like that again.
Yeah. We need a separate thrill-seeking route for you, Emmett. Like, you know,
We gotta find the most dangerous Robotaxi route and try it.
kind of like 5 spots, you know, for thrills.
Yeah, I know. We were talking last night, like, how long do you think it is until someone plans out like a crazy interaction with the Robotaxi and like has their friend like try to pull out right in front of a Robotaxi they're in just to capture it on film and like be a YouTube hit or something. But look what it did here, you know? I feel like people might already be trying to do that, or it's going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah. Dan O'Dowd, for sure. You don't want that guy.
Yeah.
He'll throw some like child mannequin right in the street right before or something. I mean, look, it's...
That was such a ridiculous thing he did. It's like, it just shows his like motive, you know, and the folly.
Yeah.
Even my kids, I showed them that clip and they're like, what the heck? It's like the last second, like even human would, you know, crash into that.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
Yeah, I don't get it.
So, Emmett, now that you've slept on it, day 2 of taking rides, like, has the excitement kind of worn down a bit?
The excitement of the ride has worn down, but the excitement as an investor has gone up for sure. You know, as a medium long-term outcome for the stock. You know, the real like I've been waiting for this Robotaxi rollout for many months, and it's surpassed my expectations.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the only thing now, the next data point to really look for is the rate of expanding it. So that includes taking the safety monitor out, how long till the safety monitor is out of this initial area. That's one data point. And the other data point is how long until they expand it to a bigger area in Austin. And the other data point is how long until they introduce it to a new area, like whether it's the South Bay of San Francisco or Arizona or whatever. So those data points, those are the next points to have to be able to extract how fast the Robotaxi is going to dominate.
Yeah. So how is it different from like just watching videos, you know, on X and YouTube about Robotaxi and the rides versus taking it yourself?
Oh, it's like you really like just right there. There's people walking around and like you don't even think it's a problem whatsoever. It's like this thing handles it like you're very confident, like you experience it. Like that's that's how you learn the most is through experiencing it, you know?
Yeah.
And so you learn your conviction of Tesla, the investment thesis, through experiencing it. That's how we first got conviction of owning Tesla in the early, 15 years ago, was experiencing the Model S test drive. We've talked about that before, right? 2012, we both got to experience the test drive because we were early deposit holders. So once you experience the ride initially back then you're like, oh, the stock's going to be worth a lot more in the future. You might as well hold it in long term. And the same thing with Robotaxi. Once you experience like being in this thing, like, look at this is like piece of cake. You don't even think twice about this.
Exactly.
The Waymo is going to like hesitate through that. The Waymo is impressive in itself, right? But when you experience the Robotaxi in comparison to the Waymo, you're just like, wow, this is just already better.
Yeah, actually, I mean, the way it handled it was like perfectly human.
Yeah, even better.
Yeah. But Waymo, I don't know. It probably.
I'm sure it's safe. It is safe.
It just would be a little bit like.
You're in a mechanical car.
Yeah, mechanic. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Once you experience it, you just know. It's like this is ready to. Like they could just roll this out right now. I feel like without a monitor, and it's going to save lives right off the bat. Yeah. But unfortunately, we talked about like the perception matters. In the first accident, everyone's going to go crazy, even though they don't look at the numbers. And just like the first Tesla fire in 2013. All over the news, and the stock tanked, 25%, and people are an outcry about electric cars catch fire. First Robotaxi accident is going to get like 100 times more coverage than the first Waymo mishaps, and then there's going to be outcry. People are going to be hysterical, and so it's like, how do you balance that with saving lives? Because you don't want to go backwards in regulations or adoption because of perception screwing us all up over the media.
Yeah, there's definitely something I think about sitting in the Robotaxi and picking any location and driving it
Yeah.
that you can't get on just watching videos.
No,
you
you
know, there's
can't.
something
You gotta like
about
get here and experience. Any investor that's like heavily invested in Tesla. So even that little, like, that was a good jerk. That was like the most jerky I've seen in a Robotaxi, and it was not bad at all. Like a human might even do that. So it was like, that was nothing. It was like, all right, and that was, that's fine, yeah. But experiencing that, like, you just get confidence pretty quickly. So anyone who's invested in Tesla in a significant amount, I strongly urge them to further their investment research by coming down to Austin and experiencing this, firsthand.
Yeah, there's a difference. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if I was in Austin a bit longer, so I'm headed to Houston this weekend for a month. My wife is getting radiation during July, so I only have this week. And so, but if I was in Austin longer, I would probably open up and take some people, some viewers and subscribers on rides and stuff. But I'm sure there's other people that are doing that. If you reach out.
Yeah, reach out to all the people on, if you become like a paid subscriber on X of like someone who's like doing this, I'm sure they'd feel more compelled to show you around. Like, oh, one of my subscribers wants to meet and take them on for half a day. I'm sure they'd feel more compelled. So that's one.
Also, if you're contacting someone, like, tell them how much you're exactly like invested in Tesla, like percent-wise of your net worth or your number of shares, and you can tell them to keep it confidential. But then that gives them this instant trust that you're not gonna like try to smear Tesla, by looking for faults and all that stuff.
Yeah. But this is open to. I mean, I'm surprised you don't see more institutional investors around testing this out right now.
Yeah.
I think Dan Ives or something do it, but I haven't heard any other institutional investors saying they're here trying it out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some have millions of shares. They're not here.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Such a poor job of Wall Street, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're here. All right, guys, here's another Robotaxi.
This is like so convenient. We just walk out. It's right here, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's like that. Whew. Cars, that way there's like something playing, do you think? Like music?
Yeah, I don't know. It must be either the last person must be listening to this, or
it's supposed to like sync to your profile, no? Yeah,
I don't know.
We don't know where that music came from this time.
It must be the radio.
Yeah, last time there was music playing, we went into. It was interesting.
Yeah. All right. Emmet wanted to take a little longer ride, so we got a 14-minute ride here. He thinks that if we go somewhere longer, we might encounter something more interesting and exciting.
Yeah. 3.5 miles.
My experience is not necessarily that's the case. It's really hard to predict.
Yeah.
Unless you pick like some difficult parking lots or something.
And this one, if you see the map here, it's actually just like 1, 2, 3, 4 turns, maybe 5. So.
That's true.
But still, it's a long straightaway right there. So we'll see.
That's true.
There's a little yellow line there. What does that mean? Maybe that means like construction or something. It's interesting. What do you think that little yellow dot in there?
I don't know. I think that's traffic, but
over here we're going to see it too.
Yeah.
Okay. You're about to hit one of those yellow. See, it's up there. Yeah, right here. It says traffic.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
Yeah, I was thinking like trying out the Robotaxi right now. It's kind of like trying out an early Model S.
Mm-hmm.
And
except it's not as fun. Like the early Model S was like really fun to drive with the speed and accelerate. This is not like a thrill thing.
That's true.
It's kind of just like driving with Daisy. Just like driving with Dave.
Yeah, it's true.
But it is kind of like that in terms of like experiencing this new technology in a very...
Yeah, you kind of want to, like back in the day, like let's say 2012, you're wanting to find out the faults and weaknesses as well of the Model S. Like you really want to know, like, is this a great car, much better than anything else out there, or is it just like slightly better, or...
Yeah.
And it's like, I think same thing with Robotaxi. It's like you really want to see what the experience is like and what the weaknesses are, and if this can really scale or not. You know, comparing it to Waymo and Uber and other stuff, driving. But yeah, I agree. It's like hard to find a lot of faults, you know?
Yeah, it's very hard. I mean, if there's like 20 of these going around a day, how many miles per day total are they doing right now? And there hasn't been really any major incident. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just how long until like there's some crazy incident where there's a fender bender or something, you know? And of course, as soon as there's any fender bender, it's gonna be reported all over the place, right?
Well, you know that because even like with the successful Robotaxi launch, did you see like the headlines?
Yeah.
Like from
terrible.
Like yeah, Bloomberg, Reuters, whatever. They're like, oh, you know, Tesla's Robotaxi launch hit bumps and it's like challenges and whatever mistakes, all this stuff. When it was like almost a perfect launch. It was like the complete opposite of reality.
That's why it's such a good investment opportunity right now. I mean, if they reported accurately, probably the stock would already be like way higher. But because perception is so important when you don't have like the hard numbers showing up on the balance sheet yet of like cash flow from this.
Yeah.
It's just like too many institutional investors are lazy and aren't experiencing it themselves. And they just like don't believe it until they see the.
Yeah, in terms of stock, I think it's an interesting time because you've got like some weakness with deliveries.
Yeah,
especially Europe and year-over-year decline. So it messes with people's like
perception of the stock, right? They think that's what the stock still represents.
Yeah,
but it doesn't.
And it's tough because like even we have delivery numbers coming up and Q2 earnings, and so people have to brace for disappointment
on those old traditional metrics. That was what we used for the stock valuation.
So in a way, that stuff is, I think, kind of pushing down, you know, or has downward pressure on the stock because, you know, most investors still are, you know, looking at Tesla as a car company, car maker.
EV manufacturer.
Yeah, and so all of that stuff really matters, revenues and margins and operating profit, which it does in a sense, but...
It's interesting here, we're kind of in this little... Oh, okay. Yeah, nothing too much, nothing too...
because that pays Tesla's bills right now, but it also depends, like, how big of an opportunity is this Robotaxi market. If it's, like, much bigger, multiple times bigger than, let's say, the auto business for Tesla, and Tesla's in this huge lead, then yeah, maybe the auto business doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
But if you think that the Robotaxi business isn't that big, and that there are going to be multiple players, and Tesla's going to take just, you know, a small portion of that, then you probably are going to be disappointed looking at Tesla's delivery numbers and not want to be in the stock that much.
Yeah. I mean, I remember going through that mindset cycling out of the EV manufacturing investment thesis to sort of being forced to get out of that bullish mindset for EV manufacturing when, in my mind, Elon sort of just refused to market or do a public education campaign and decided to do just death by 1,000 price cuts, death to margins by 1,000 price cuts. It didn't really spur demand much either, as much as expected. So you had to really I had to really think about it differently, like forced my hand to think about the Robotaxi opportunity. All right, how real is that? Should I stay in the stock long term still? And I'm glad I have, because this Robotaxi opportunity dwarfs the EV manufacturing, in my opinion. Even if EV manufacturing was still growing and had 25% margins, the Robotaxi, when it's mature, is going to be 10x total net margins, you know, versus EV manufacturing, in my opinion. It's just like a whole new... There used to be that graph you used to share, remember? Someone created where it's like the S curves and like the Robotaxis, and then the next 10x after the Robotaxi is the humanoid robot, the labor market, you know, so you still have that to look forward to.
Yeah.
And the EV manufacturing, it's always, you know, it's a nice, stable floor to think about, but, you know, if that's all, if we had no Robotaxi whatsoever, then the stock should probably be worth like a quarter of what it is now. And you know, something like if there's no Optimus and no Robotaxi to consider.
Yeah.
It was just
it's not very often, I think, that a company, also like a $1 trillion market company, comes along where it develops a completely like new product in a new market. You know, because like typically with a car company, your new markets are going to be new cars, new models, new whatever, different variations of a car, you know. And for Tesla to come up with this, you know,
look at these bumps. It just handles these speed bumps flawlessly. Like if it was a professional driver taking me somewhere, that's how I would feel.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. But it's like, it's actually a completely different product because it's AI. It's a software product, you know what I'm saying? It's not a car manufacturing product, really.
And it's a software product with a moat, right? With the data, with all the data they have, you know, and being vertically integrated already. Like unlike Waymo, which is buying cars from manufacturers, have to produce it at a certain spec, and then they're using these old legacy, you know, mechanical system. You know, it's a whole different thing, and they have so many sensors from all these different places to put on it, and they don't even have their own network. They got to go partner with Uber now. Waymo has to partner with Uber to expand. You know, otherwise they're going to be slowed down a lot if they try to do it themselves. So
it's also an interesting opportunity because usually institutional investors don't specialize in early stage technology. Like they're not VCs, you know, like trying to bet on a new company, or they're not doing the Series A, B, or C or whatever. Their bread and butter is looking at incremental growth, like revenue, you know, is growing 5%, or you know, margins this, and so they're not really like. It's more of a numbers game, and it's more like you know, the sustainable incremental growth. That's their bread and butter. So to evaluate kind of an early stage technology that, even though it could be big, I think they don't have a framework, a grid. Like that's not what they do. And so, I don't know how they're going to do it. I think the best way, and Elon has mentioned this also a lot, is like you've got to try it out. And like you just got to use it every day, I think.
Experience it.
And if you do
even
that,
for like a weekend, like I'm doing right now, at least for 2 days, I'm doing it, and it's like amazing. It's like
but like trying out, for example, like if you have been using FSD beta for the past few years, you've seen the improvement, especially from V12. Right, just the past year and a half. And you just map out the trajectory of where is this gonna go, like how much is this improving every 6 months, and you could see where it's going to be in 6 months. Can you imagine where this is going to be in another 6 or 12 months? It's like
that was no easy task right there. Like how it just passed that car. Like that car is not supposed to be parked there. It said no curb parking, and it was there like as if like. How did the robot know so quickly and smoothly that there's no one in the car and just to go around it, right? Like I feel like a Waymo would have been stopped there for like 3 seconds before it decided to pass it, you know? But the Model S the Model Y Robotaxi were just recognized it immediately like a human would. Be like, all right, let's just get around that.
But like it's already at the spot where I can barely find any mistakes.
No.
So in 6 or 12 months, we're talking about like handling all the challenging, you know, edge cases, and
if we took an Uber driver all these spots, oh my gosh, I would have had so many like nervous points with the Uber driver for these like last 7 or 8 trips I've done.
All right, we're here, guys.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I think a good idea, like with the Robotaxi, just drop this off there, or like let's say you want to go to a store to pick something up or whatever, instead of calling another Robotaxi, you should be able to like press a button to retain control and have it wait for you. Maybe you pay like $1 a minute or something, and it stays out there as long as you retain control.
$1 every 5 or 10 minutes? Every 5 minutes.
Yeah, every $1 5 minutes, whatever it is. But it's something you have to pay to keep it there for you so that you can go back to it once you're done getting your store item just right away to have it take you to your next spot, you know? So I think that'd be a great revenue opportunity for Tesla. It would be a good user experience. I don't see why you wouldn't do that.
Or how about rent a Robotaxi for the day, like your own Robotaxi.
Keep your chauffeur.
Keep your stuff in the Robotaxi, like your bag, your groceries, your shopping. You know,
$100 for the day. Have it drive you around.
Drive you around, pick you up. You know.
I think that's a good idea too.
But
Also,
if there's density, if there's a ton of Robotaxis in an area, like your wait time is gonna be so short, you know, like 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever. And that's gonna just make it so much of a better experience. And so in a way, it's like whoever can get that density is gonna have the best service because the best time. But whoever has the cheapest ability to offer service will get the density because that will create the demand for, you know.
It'll be a self-fulfilling flywheel kind of.
Yeah. So if you can give the cheapest rides, you're gonna get the most demand.
No, forget, can you actually manufacture and supply them? Like right now, what's Waymo gonna have, like, you know, that maybe they can get like 10,000 a year added of they can't make nearly as many.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So like, what is Waymo gonna do when Tesla has density, you know? Like you have hundreds of these things, thousands of these things running around in an area. They arrive in 2 or 3 minutes. They're cheaper, you know, and people just flock to it. Who's gonna want a Waymo? You know, what is Waymo gonna do?
It'd be such a good case study for Austin here if Tesla like ramps up here in Austin in the next few months. Like, how long until Waymo officially exits because it's such a money loser for them? Or do you think they stay on just because they don't want the perception of showing that they're leaving Austin because of Tesla?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. I mean, it's a tough situation
It's a
because
tough
you
decision
can't
for Waymo.
compete with Tesla because your costs are higher, you know?
Yeah. I wonder if people in Waymo, I wonder if there's a way to like talk to anyone at Waymo and be like, what are you seeing in this first week in your analysis? Are you seeing a significant drop in your ride share already in that area that Tesla has expanded? I would imagine you do, but they can probably quantify it.
Yeah, I don't know if they see it because people who are taking Robotaxi are not taking Waymo right now.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
they're just imports.
That's true.
Who are
we're all beta tester people.
Yeah,
we're not like regular. But within a few weeks, when they open it up, it'd be interesting.
I don't know. I think it's going to be more. It's going to take some time to roll out. I think they want the safety monitors there for a while.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it just gives that extra cushion of safety margin of safety, basically.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I don't know if the risk of opening it up and scaling fast is worth what's the benefit right now? I mean,
well, the thing is, if they don't open it up at a reasonable speed, like if they go very conservatively slow, let's say, they risk not enough success to show that it's working well before some regulators, some Democratic regulators who hate Elon come down and be like, no, we got to stop this until you do this, and then they have to shut it down early. Versus if they did roll it out like aggressively before any like Democratic run state regulator, like we saw that letter from the Democratic Congress people sent to Tesla or something, before they get their crap together to try to stop, maybe they're already trying to plan it, but if Tesla is able to roll it out to a wider Austin before they can really officially get some legislation proposed, then it's already too big to stop. That's my thought.
I see. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my thinking is in 3 or 4 months, Tesla will have a neural net that's like 3 or 4 times larger. Their next, version probably 14. And then,
but it's already super safe. I mean, we've just been doing these rides. I mean, the only thing is like the pickup and drop off points aren't always perfect, but
imagine like these like rare edge cases, right? If
we haven't seen one really. I mean, that UPS
like,
driver, that was not
even
really.
Even like cases where the other car's at fault, but you can avoid it if you're like better.
Yeah.
Like imagine if you're 10 times better at those edge cases.
Yeah, but
like, wouldn't you wait for like 3 or 6 months for that? You know.
But what if we don't see one in like 2 weeks and thousands of miles have been driven? What if you don't see an edge case? Just gonna wait indefinitely. What if you like never see one? I mean, that's best case. Maybe that's.
I don't know. I don't think we're there yet. I mean,
okay.
But we'll.
I mean, that's why I want to see the first fender bender happen. Because it's gonna happen sooner or later. You just want to get it over with and see it, and somewhere because it's gonna happen. Sure. Right? But if it doesn't happen, then you just wait forever to roll out because you're waiting for that first fender bender? I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, I'm sure Tesla has the data on, the interventions or the safety monitor, stuff and all that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, we're headed to brunch right now. We're going to go to the brunch and then area or restaurant and probably take 1 or 2 more rides and then, Emmet's off. On his plane back home.
It's like Robotaxi ride number like 8 or 9 or 10 or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go for it.
Let's go.
So Emmet, man, I feel like you're into kind of the area of exuberance right now.
I am, from an investor point of view, I am entering that. I mean, the only hesitation is the obstacles of regulation trying to stop it or slow it down, because of entrenched taxi union interests or Uber trying to prevent Tesla from coming in and stealing jobs, local politicians. That's the only risk I see at this point. Like technology-wise, it's there, it's ready. And the perception of like the first accident, when it gets broadcast to the media, it'll be headlines everywhere. It'll be just like the first Tesla fire. That's one thing too. That'll fire up the resistance from a regulation standpoint for sure. But from a statistical point of view and a technology point of view, it's there. It just seems like so obvious right now.
So you think Tesla should just scale?
I think they should figure out how to scale. Yeah, as fast as possible. It saves lives. That's what it's about. And we're already going to be saving lives with this current version, in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, it's just going to keep getting better. I mean, it just seems obvious to me. Like, from an investor point of view, like this is like the biggest startup in history, this Robotaxi business. Like, you have the manufacturing down already. You have vertical integration, you have the software, it's like the biggest startup in the history of startups, like this Robotaxi business. Just gonna, if we can ramp it up and turn it on for all the Model Ys with the latest ones, or even just the new ones coming out going forward, that's fine too. It's like 5,000 a week of those or whatever. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, to me, it seems so obvious. Like, I'm sure most people that are going to watch or listen to this, it probably seems somewhat obvious to them too. And it's just crazy how many otherwise smart, tech-savvy people it's like brand new news to, or they don't really understand it yet. Like the difference between the Waymos and the Tesla Robotaxis, for example. What do you think? Do you think that do you think it's going to take a long time to adopt, like if they wanted to scale up, or do you think? I think the cost is just like right off the bat.
It's all about risk tolerance. Like how willing are you to have some accidents, right? Because there's going to be accidents. I think Waymo has already a couple hundred accidents just this year.
Yeah.
But how many people really know about that,
Yeah.
But if Tesla had like 10 accidents so far with their Robotaxi, it's like the whole world will probably find out, And
yeah, of course.
be all concerned, like, oh my gosh, it's like so dangerous. But how many human accidents are there, just in one city, like per day?
Ridiculous.
It's like crazy. But again, it's like risk tolerance, like, the longer Tesla waits, the safer, the better performing system they can deploy. 'Cause every 3 months, their models get so much better.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky situation. I mean, I like Tesla's approach so far, which is roll it out, but be kind of paranoid with safety, have a safety monitor there, just in case.
Yeah.
And I would imagine Tesla's AI team is like really religiously tracking every single metric they can, trying to figure out how safe things are. And the cool thing is they're getting that data right now. So the more usage there is, the better they'll have with data. And they push out a new update, a new FSD build or something, right, say in a month or two, and then they can see how that changes, right?
Yeah.
So they'll have a better sense of the safety profile for the Robotaxi. And so, it's going to give them, here's a guy running across the street.
Oh, well,
but
it's fine though.
But so
like a Waymo might have done like an emergency stop prematurely, like
that's
woo,
true,
but we
possibly.
did.
But so I think Tesla, they know what they're doing. They'll
This is a good constructional area. Cool.
Yeah. So
Look at this. This is a good test. Oh my gosh, this is a great test
The thing
here.
is, what's cool?
Look at this real quick.
Yeah, what's
No
cool
problem.
about a test like this
Yeah.
is, so I've done something like this with the Waymo.
Yeah.
Waymo
Much more
oftentimes-
hesitant, slow?
No, it goes too fast.
Really?
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
Like-
Feels like it tries to zip
Yeah,
through
like
it.
it's just 5 or 10 miles faster than what you would do as a human. But if you like that what we just went through, it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was just like a human would go
Like
through it.
slightly slower.
Yeah.
Just to caution it.
Yeah, exactly. There was like no difference, and I think that's right now the
That's the difference
distinguishing
between
factor.
end-to-end neural nets
Yeah.
versus heuristic coding.
Yeah, exactly. Tesla has just so much more data that shows like human driving in so many situations where it just knows what to do. Whereas Waymo is I don't know.
It's mechanical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now from a skeptic or bearish point of view, I'm trying to think of like what valid takes there are on this Tesla not, devouring Waymo, Uber, and everyone else. I mean, I can't think. I'm trying to think. Like, once you experience this, it's hard to imagine yourself as a bear and being like, well, they can't manufacture these at scale. Of course they can. They're manufacturing at scale. Oh, they can't expand because of regulators. That's the only argument I can think of. I'm just trying to think, like, what else would they say?
How about, like, self-hate? You want to lose money on purpose, sabotage yourself in your own own net worth, net assets, because, I don't know. No, it's funny because there is something, I think, underlining where it's like some people will just criticize, bet against this, not because of anything rational, but because of, like, some weird hate of Tesla or Elon or whatever that just clouds their mentality. Like, the most objective thing is, hey, lay down your bias, your conclusions with an open mind, take 30 Robotaxi rides, and see. And it's not just that. I think if
what I think they would say? This is what the bears would say. They'd say, oh, well, there's a supervisor in the car, a monitor, so it's not really Robotaxi. It's just kind of like, and I can only take 10 rides. That's not enough sample. Waymo would probably have like 1,000 rides before it meant less safe or something. So they would just like probably fixate on that. Is the only thing I can think of as a bear. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of as a bear saying.
Well, I think it has to be out of ignorance more. Like, they just haven't seen the improvements. They haven't tested FSD beta for the past 2 years themselves, on a daily basis. So they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Explain your lunch here, Emmet.
Okay, so I got 5 eggs scrambled with some it's 4 orders of extra crispy bacon.
Oh my goodness.
This is mostly to my liking. This one I would eat this one, but it's almost not crispy enough. But almost all the other pieces are just good enough. And then I got a pancake. Their signature. I had to get the pancake because that's like their signature dish. The Paperboy pancake.
That's a big pancake.
Yeah, and I might only eat half of it. I'll probably offer you the other half if you want it. But this looks like a great breakfast.
Well, this
brunch.
is a Paperboy in South Austin. I got a smash burger. Looks awesome too.
Yeah.
You just finished
Look at this.
a pound of bacon or something and 5 eggs.
So good.
And,
oh my gosh.
Finished a bunch of Robotaxi rides.
Yeah.
What else can you ask for?
Not much. I mean, nice nap in a couple hours when I get on that plane. That'll probably be just about right.
Nice. Yeah, I finished my lunch too. Yeah, we're headed off. We're gonna take our last Robotaxi ride, get Emmet stuff from his hotel, and then see him off at the airport. It's been a fun, hopefully productive time for you.
Yeah. I had a great time beating you in Street Fighter 2.
Oh my goodness. We played last night. Emmet surprised me, man.
I surprised him. Yeah. Well, I think Dave's a better player. I just surprised him with Chun-Li and some new moves he wasn't ready for.
The first few games, I was like killing him so easily. I just wasn't taking him seriously at all. And then,
you were even like Zangief against me and beating me. I was like, ah.
And then he found Chun-Li's special strategy against Guile. My goodness. All right, we got another last Robotaxi for the day.
Start ride. Nice. Oh, that's fast. 5 minutes.
Short ride. All right, last ride of the day. So, Emmet, what are your wrapping thoughts for the day?
I mean, I think this is ready. The only thing that needs to be adjusted is like being able to be a little more flexible and pick up and drop off points at some of the spots. Mm-hmm. Some of the spots are like perfect, but some of the spots you'd like it to be like 50 feet closer to you or 100 feet closer, not have to cross the street or something. I'm sure they'll figure that out pretty quickly. It doesn't seem like too hard to solve. So other than that, like, this thing's ready for prime time. It's just do whatever they can to expand it.
So I think it's interesting. So I think you're correct in the sense that they've solved driving. Like, it just drives perfectly.
Yeah.
Like most all the time. We barely can find any faults.
Yeah.
It drives just like a human, even better.
Yep.
Like, we haven't had any issues. Pick up and drop off spots, that could be improved.
Just for some of the things. Some of them are perfect, but just a few, a couple of our rides a little annoying, but it's not terrible.
here's the thing. I think it's the unseen, it's the edge cases. It's like the crazy situations where people get into accidents, right?
Yeah.
Those are the situations where it matters the most, because that's when, you know,
Like you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the Dunning-Kruger a little bit, where you drive, like, let's say you take, this is like what I've done 20 plus rides or more, maybe 25, and I'm like, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Right?
But if you did 2,500 rides, maybe you'd have that one edge case to see.
And then that edge case, that accident, if it's like a big accident, then it almost negates, especially if you're at fault, it can negate all the other, you know, good rides you did.
Yeah.
And the question is, like, is Robotaxi at a place where, let's say, without the monitor, it can have less accidents and less severe accidents than a human, right?
Yeah.
So is it better and safer than a human right now? And that's the problem. It's like you could take 20, 30, 40, 50 rides. It seems like it because, like, there's no problems, but do you really know? Because you haven't had the tens of thousands of miles that is required to hit those edge cases. Yeah, that's what makes the question of, like, how fast can Tesla scale this?
Yeah.
It makes it such a difficult question. It's because it looks like they've solved basic driving, right?
Yeah.
Like all this stuff where there's like
just the edge cases that they solved.
It's just the edge cases.
But then you got to think about, like, Uber drivers or human drivers create their own edge cases that the Robotaxi does not, right? So, like, human drivers create it by looking at their phone, texting, right? Or, you know, having a sneeze at maybe they have a heart attack at the wrong time. You know, human drivers, all the edge cases that they create by definition of being a human that can't focus 100.00% of the time either. So the robot doesn't have that edge case capability. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so it's safer. And
I think just because of that, it's already safer. Even if a robot doesn't respond to an edge case brought upon it by someone else driving in a perfect way that a human who's fully attentive would, I still think statistically, because the Robotaxi doesn't have those human-generated edge cases of texting while driving or just not paying attention or whatever, that more than outweighs the other edge case. That's my thought.
Yeah, I just think that we just don't know all the stats yet.
Yeah.
On those edge cases, how many and what's going on exactly. I mean, I think we have some ideas because so many of the rides are just being broadcasted and shared. I think it's pretty cool how almost all the early riders right now are being open and transparent with, like, the number of rides and the problems that they've experienced. Like, so you get a sense that like people aren't hiding the things. You know, like.
And I haven't seen one like critical disengagement yet. I mean, I've seen some minor little things, but nothing. Have you seen anything like shown that's like a critical thing? I haven't seen anything critical. And the hundreds of rides people have taken, maybe thousands by now. I mean, you've taken 25 yourself. I've taken.
I mean, it's interesting. Tesla could have made it a thing where you can't video record.
Yeah, they could have.
Right?
That's true.
But they chose not to. So and they chose people who have large followings. So it's like that's a bold move to let people video record and share it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And there's a lot of, like, we've seen a couple people that's like, oh, my boyfriend's in this, or this person is in it, I can't get it, but I want to try it later. And they're like kind of regular people. They're just locals that are in it. It's not necessarily just like influencers. There's a lot of...
Yeah, it's interesting. I think just because it's a relatively, it's not a big area. It's like a medium-sized area, this geofence area, especially in these busier areas like Lamar and Congress.
Yeah.
People are getting more familiar seeing the Robotaxi.
Yeah.
So it's becoming like, and there's not even that many, but still, like, I think it's getting known.
Yeah.
And I mean,
that's a good instruction. Look at this. I mean, this is like years ago, you would be super nervous in a Tesla driving through this construction, but right now it's like, you don't even think about it. You just assume that it's going to do fine.
Yeah.
Crazy. The one thing that I've seen in my full self-driving is sometimes even it'll be like a person like with a stop sign and it stops and the person turns it over to say slow and then the car knows to go. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think there's too many, like, when I see naysayers or people like push back, I'm always thinking of the line of that quote of like, don't let perfect be the enemy of good, you know? And Tesla is overwhelmingly, the Robotaxi is overwhelmingly good, even more so than Waymo, I think. And it's like, if you're going to wait for it to be 100.0% perfect, you'll be waiting forever. And you're going to, you know, like if it's 99 point, how many nines do you need to be right? Like it's already enough nines, like in my opinion, to be scalable on a massive scale. So it's like most of the people that are like, oh, what about, how would it handle this? It needs to have LiDAR for this type of sandstorm or whatever. I'm like, well, how many times are you going to be driving in a sandstorm or whatever? Like, can't just use cameras. And, you know, it's still, there's just someone inside, you know, just don't let perfect be the enemy of good, you know? I mean, if you do, we'd never take risks to accomplish anything.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it was a risk for Tesla to let normal people use FSD beta for the past 4 years or whatever.
It has been.
But I think it was a good risk. I mean, it was a bet that human supervision, the humans are really good at supervising, you know, and I think it's paid off.
Yeah, the combination of the robot driving and human eyes on it at the same time is like obviously safer than just the robot. But right now, that differential is not very much, if anything at all, it seems like.
Yeah. All right, guys, our last stop is just around the corner, so I'm just going to wrap up this video. It's been fun hanging out with Emmet the past couple days, getting a different perspective. I don't know if we've really gotten the thrills that you were hoping for, but
hasn't been a roll. Kept thinking, part of me thought it would be a roller coaster ride, these drives, but they're so uneventful and boring. I mean, you just look for like, oh, that person just walked into the road or swerved out, got out of the way, or waited for that car to pull out. Things that, you know, any driver would normally do just fine too. But yeah, I mean, as an investor, it's super exciting.
All right, guys, we'll leave it with that. See you guys later.